Hello there. My name is Nancy Shore, and I am the Strategic Partnership and Volunteer Coordinator for Ann Arbor Public Schools. This little walkthrough is going to give you a better sense of how you can use Better Impact, our new volunteer management system, as a coordinator for your program, course, or group to better understand the status of your volunteers, to see them as they're logging hours, and to get all kinds of information that we normally would have provided you in a spreadsheet. So I'm going to share three things with you in this walkthrough, and all of this is in the Quick Start Guide slide deck that I'm also going to be sharing with you. And the three things are very easy to just start with: how to log in, a quick look around to see the different things that are available to you in the system, and then doing some searches and reports, some of which we've already built for you in the system to better get an understanding of the status of your volunteers. So first, to log in, you just want to go to betterimpact.com and you can click on the login. And once you get to this page, this is a page that you can bookmark. This is the administrative side. And I am going to log in. I'm going to be using one of the professors from the ELI 390 course. I'm going to use her administrator login so that I can show you what it looks like in real time. So when you log in, there is going to be a dashboard that's going to have all the information you need. And again, there is an overview in the Quick Start Guide that we shared with you. But just very briefly, on the top of the page are going to be the different areas of the system that you're going to be able to look at. So the people section, where you can search for any volunteer. Communicating, you could either email or text volunteers right from the system. Assigning, that's not really something that you're going to need to worry about because you're not going to be assigning volunteers for the most part to the activities or opportunities that they're going to be volunteering with. The reports section, you'll be able to see reports and overviews of the different volunteers and the activities that they're doing. And then configuration, which again is not going to be something you as a coordinator are going to need to worry too much about, but that is a place where you can actually look at how all the activities are looking. And the activities in the system are the volunteer opportunities that we're getting from our teachers to provide to you as a volunteer and as the volunteer coordinator. On the other side of the screen are other search features. So if you just want to find a person, you want to find a page within the system, or you want to ask a question for help, you can type that into this search bar, and that will also help you get more information. There is going to be a section where there's going to be pin searches that you can pin, and that just means that it's a search that you save that then comes to your front page dashboard. I've got two here that we are going to be creating for you when you get your login information, so that you will be able to start right away in seeing information about your volunteers. There's going to be a place where you can actually favorite by putting a star next to any part of the system to have things appear on your front page. And then if you scroll down to the bottom of the screen, this is going to be where the status update is what's happening with volunteers. And again, this isn't as much of what you're going to need to know. This is more for us as the overall admin, but just to know that part of this system is everybody who is volunteering with the Strategic Partnerships Program is coming into this system. So you're actually going to be able to see all volunteers. And so part of this walkthrough is going to show you how you can drill down and just see your volunteers. So that is a general overview of the software. Something to note about how volunteers are coming in: there are two types of affiliations for volunteers. And so I'm going to show that to you with any of the searches. So anytime a volunteer is coming into our system, they are completing an application. And we have an application that is a general interest application, and that is for volunteers that are really interested in any type of volunteer role. And then we have the specific role or school application, and that application is usually for volunteers who are in a University of Michigan course, class, or program. And it's also for any sort of organization that is doing something specific to a school. Primarily, it's focused on University of Michigan. So I will show you what that question looks like. So when you're running a search, and I'm going to show you that in a little bit, but if you look at the custom field, and the custom field that the volunteer affiliation is under is called volunteer affiliation. So there is two different types, as I said. So there's two different forms that are in this system, two different applications. There's the volunteer affiliation for general interest form, and that's the one that is going to anybody who's an individual volunteer, as well as if you are the coordinator for AMWA, for K-Grams, for the retired and senior volunteer program, or for Rotary Readers. This is the volunteer form that you're going to want to be performing searches on. And again, I'll show you briefly how to run those searches in a little bit. There's also the volunteer affiliation for specific role or school. And so that is going to be for pretty much any of our University of Michigan partners who are affiliated with a group that has a specific role. So maybe they're specifically ELI 390, they have specific tasks that they're doing under that course, as well as many of these other courses. So if you go into that quick start guide, that is the slide deck, it's going to show you that specifically. So that's something that is going to be different that you'll need to know as a coordinator. Am I a coordinator with that general interest form, or am I a coordinator with a specific role or school? Because that's going to be how you're going to want to run your searches to filter the people that you're going to want to look at in this system. Another difference in the different types of affiliations is through the activities. So when you're going to be running reports and activities, I'm just showing you what all the activities look like. If you are part of a general form, if you are one of the Rotary Readers, or if you're with K-Grams, you're just going to see a general role as when you look at an activity. And again, this will become clear as we go through the system, but you're going to see something like academic support or math support as the beginning title of your activity. For those of you who are with U of M courses or programs that are in a specific role or only at specific schools, you're going to see the name of your course, program, or group as the first title in that activity. So only America Reads volunteers are going to see the America Reads activities. Only Project Community volunteers are going to see the Project Community activities. But when you run reports, you're going to see all of the activities. So I'm going to show you how you can better filter to just see the activities for your specific course, program, or school. So that is a general overview of the differences between the different affiliations and how that looks in terms of the activities. And now I'm going to show you the different reports or searches that we've already built into this program. So one of the things that you probably want to know as a volunteer coordinator is, what is the status of my volunteer? Have they completed their orientation? Have they completed the application at all? What is going on with them, and where are they at in the process? So we have created a pinned search that's going to say onboarding status. If you click on that search, it's going to pull up the search, and the search is going to say to the system, show me anybody that is affiliated with that specific program or course or group. So in this case, it's showing anybody that's affiliated with the ELI 390 course. And then from that, we've created a report for you, which is also going to say onboarding status, and hours logged. You will load that report. It is only going to select certain information that you're going to see. And then at the bottom of the page, you're just going to view the profiles from that report. And so this is going to show you the kind of information that we've always shared with you in a database. It's going to show you the name of the volunteer, their status. So if they're accepted, it means that they have completed all of their different activities. I see that Destiny is accepted, but she actually hasn't completed her orientation, so she should actually be in process. And so if you see any blanks, it means that they still have not completed a certain activity. So that's just something to be aware of. You'll also be able to show at a global level how many hours a volunteer has logged in the system, because every volunteer can log their hours in the system. So this is a high level. Is everybody completed all of their items? So in this case, I see that Destiny has not completed her orientation. And so you can then reach out to Destiny and say, hey, I see you haven't completed your orientation yet. And she'll need to do that in order for her to sign up for any activities. So that is the first type of report or search that we've saved for you in the system. And the next one is a people search. And that people search is going to allow you to see every volunteer that has come in our system from your organization or group or course, and the individual information about them. So this again are the same volunteers, those ELI 390 volunteers, but now I can actually go to view and see all the information about them, including, are they signed up to volunteer? When is their next shift? how many hours have they logged. And if I keep scrolling down the screen, I can see the badges they've earned, so I can see all the things that they've completed in the system. I also have the ability in this search, if I go down to the reports section, I can actually run a report of their volunteer hours. So let me look at the date range of the last month, which is, let me actually look at, I'm going to look at the last, let's say in the last month. Have they logged any hours? And I will view that report. Let's see, has she logged any hours within the last month? She didn't log any hours in June. So I am going to look at this month. So I'm going to look at, actually, let's look at the month to date. And I will see, and I can see now that Isla has looked at hours. So I can change this date range to whatever I want, and I can actually see detailed hours for everybody that's logging hours in the system. So any of your volunteers, if they have to log hours to earn credit for their course, this is an easy way to ask them to log hours and then be able to see their hours by individual. So again, this is an easy way to see what is happening with volunteers. You can also run any kind of people search that you want. And this is where that custom field of affiliation becomes relevant. So if you go to the people icon and you go to this search button on the left, or the search feature, you're always going to want to search for volunteers that have any of these three statuses. So an applicant means they just came into our system. We haven't really looked at them yet. In process means that they might have completed a task, or we're still in the process of completing tasks for them. When they're accepted, they should have completed all of their tasks. There may be sometimes when something has happened where we're still waiting for them to complete a task. So you'll just know that you want to look at all of their different statuses. And then you always want to add the search criteria of that custom field. So you're going to want to search for custom fields. And then that header is going to be the volunteer affiliation. And again, that's the question where we're asking them, what are you affiliated with? So if you, again, have the general interest form, if that's what your volunteers are using, which are these groups here, then you're going to want to have them, that's what you're going to want to select. So let's say that I'm with the Rotary and I want to select that. So if I add that and then I leave, then it's going to be showing me any volunteer who is part of Rotary Readers. And then I can search for that. And then I see, okay, here's all the volunteers that are part of the Rotary Readers program. I can also add search criteria. So I can add any kind of information, and the quick start guide shows you more. I can add, I only want to see with qualifications anybody who has not completed their orientation yet. I want to see anybody who hasn't been signed up for an activity. So anybody who's not on a schedule. I want to see that and see, okay, I see that there's 2 people who are with Rotary Readers that aren't scheduled yet. And so that means that maybe I want to say to them, hey, I see you haven't been signed up for any activities yet. So there's lots and lots of searches that you can run, and they look pretty similar in the different parts of this system. The last thing I want to do is show you about reports. And the report that is going to probably be most relevant to many of you who are looking at hours is the logged hours raw data. And so this is going to allow you to look at, anybody who's volunteered, let's say in the last month. So from the beginning of July to the end of July. And I want to look at anybody who's worked in those days. I want to look at when they volunteered, how many hours, what's the name of activity, and what's their name. I'm going to view those hours. And right now we've just got Isla, because this is test data. So I'm going to go back to June so I can see more information. And we'll start on June 1st. So let's look at all these hours. And if I view those, then I see a number of people. And this is where it becomes important to look at that activity name, because the nice thing about the system is if you are with a specific program, course, or group that has their name in the activity, you can click on the top of activity name and you can sort it by that activity. And then all of your people will be grouped together, including all of their hours. And you'll see when they volunteered and how many hours they've logged. And so this is something you can do every week, and you can run that report and see the information. If you are just part of a general group that is not named as a specific activity or group, then you can just search by last name and you can see your individual. So if let's say Kay Graham's had Victoria, who was doing EL student support. They could look at Victoria, and her last name is Tess, and they can see that she's logged a total of 6 hours, or 2 hours on the 8th and 2 hours on the 7th of June. So that is a way to look at logged hours. And another nice report that you can look at is all categories is a way to look at schedules. If you want to look at all of the categories, and a category in our system is school. So this is the way, let's say you wanted to see all the volunteers and what activities that they're signed up for. You can go into schedules reports, you can go to all activities, all categories by date, and let us see what this report looks like. And this report is going to show me every single activity, and it's going to show me the name of that activity. It's going to show me who signed up and what school they're going to be in. And so this is organized by the activity. So that is all activities by date. If you look at all categories by category, so this is always fun. We're going to look at this report. And so this is going to show me that I can actually see by school who is signed up to participate and when they're going to participate. So there's lots and lots of reports you can look at. And if you go into that quick start guide, it'll provide you a lot of information, but you can create your own reports in this system. And that's about what I want to show you at this point with Better Impact. I know that that was a lot. Feel free to look at this video multiple times. And of course, we are always available. If you have any questions, you can either email me at shoren@a2schools.org, or you can send an email to our partners email, partners@a2schools.org. And we'd be happy to continue to help you as you learn and grow in this process. So please go into that quick start guide, see more information, and we're happy to keep chatting. Thank you.